Hey everybody, this is Mark at Short Action Customs. In this video, we're going to be showing you how we set up optics on our final scope level. So what we have right here is our multi-base on a steel platform that's bolted. It's very solid. We've got our ARCA bottom clamp, and then we've got our ARCA universal adapter. We also have a Leo Frodo ball head that's attached to our ARCA universal adapter. The great thing about that is I can mount a rifle or anything with an ARCA rail on this system, and it's very solid. So I can set up, I can do cleaning, I can just play with the rifle and do whatever I need to do on it. So it's a great setup. Right now we're going to get the scope on here and we're going to get our eye relief set and kind of get the initial setup going. So I'm going to grab my optic, I'm going to put it on here, and what I'm doing is I'm going to confirm, because everything is still loose right now, I'm going to confirm that my eye relief is good to go. And if I need to move the rings forward or backwards, everything looks good for me. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it loose, but it's snug, so it's not going to move. Then what we're going to do next is we're going to pull the scope off of here. We're going to put it on the final scope level and get that set up. Now that I've got the scope set up initially on my rifle, I've got the eye relief and the overall distance with the rings that I want. I'm going to go ahead and remove our tripod ball head. I'm now going to mount our scope onto the final scope level. And I'm just going to snug it up. All right, next I'm going to grab my bubble level. This is a Starrett Model 135. They're available on Amazon. They're like $32. They're simple, easy to get. I feel like everybody should have one of these. They're a great tool. I know that the scope is where I want it to be with the rings, so now I'm going to go ahead and look at the bubble level. I've got plenty of room. I'm going to adjust my final scope level to get on target, and then I'm going to snug it down to get it level. So now that it's pointed right at my plumb, I'm going to adjust that, and now I'm perfectly level. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to dial my turrets to get in line with my plumb. Next, once I get in line, I'm going to loosen up my scope screws for the top clamp, and I'm just going to rotate my scope body to get my reticle perfectly parallel with my plumb at 100 yards. And I usually set it up to where the reticle is just a tenth to the left or right of my plumb. That way I can see the same exact thickness of the backer plate between the reticle and the plumb. Hey everyone, this is Mark at Short Action Customs. We've got our Collis K 5-25i set up to where we're looking at our 500-yard rack plate, and we've got our final scope level all set up. I've got my side shot scope cam set up, and what we're going to do is a little tracking test. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dial up, which is going to bring the reticle down, and then we're going to go by our Horus Cat's target and just kind of see how things look. So I'm going to let you know how many mils we're dialing. I'm going to have to readjust my focus for 100 yards. That way things can get a little bit more clear. All right. So now we're at 100 yards looking at our Horus Cat target. So right now I've already gone about 8 mils. I'm going to keep going down. You can see that my scope is tracking straight up and down with this plumb, because that Horus Cat's target is set up exactly plumb, and it's, you know, within an inch or two of being exactly 100 yards away. We've measured that out very precisely. So right now we're at 22.8 mils of adjustment to get right here. So what I could do is I could set up another optic, look at the same point of at the 500-yard rack, do the same exact test and see how that scope tracks. So that way I can see if, you know, we've got any error, and once I know I've got a good scope, I can kind of measure everything against that. So this is just one of the cool things that we'll do when we mount optics. We dial up and down, we dial left and right, and we do little box tests to make sure that everything is tracking perfectly good. So, you know, if you're going to be setting up optics for precision long-range shooting, the final scope level is an absolute must to have the confidence knowing that not only is your gear set up correctly, but it's also going to work the way it's intended to. So the final scope level gives you that confidence. It's backed up by 100% lifetime warranty by Short Action Customs, and it's one of those products that we're really proud of.